And then let's go ahead and let's get into it. So I'm currently on, because I already started reading, right? So I'm gonna just start right here. It says, what is Y369? And I didn't realize this until I read it, right? It says the numbers 3, 6, and 9 show up in the universe and in nature consistently in a very significant way. If we take a perfect circle's digital root, we are left with 3 plus 6 plus 0, which equals 9. A circle has 360 degrees. If you split a circle in half, you get 180 degrees. The digital root of 180 equals 9. 180 divided by 2 equals 90. The digital root of 90 equals 9. If you split 90 in half, you get 45. The digital root of 45 is 9. If you split 45 in half, you get 22.5, and 2 plus 2 plus 5 equals 9. If you split 22.5 in half, you get 11.25. 1 plus 1 plus 2 plus 5 equals 9. As you go on, the result is always 9. Now, I didn't know that. I was just like, oh, I didn't know that. And something else it said that I'm going to bring to y'all's attention. It says in vortex math, which I don't really know what that is. So I'm going to have to go research, aka miss research. Like, what is vortex math? Never heard of it before. I've heard of being in the vortex, but I've never heard of vortex math. But it says in vortex math, there is a pattern that repeats itself infinitely. 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5, and it keeps going. So note that the numbers 3, 6, and 9 are absent in this pattern, and scientist Marco Rodin believes these numbers represent a vector from the third to fourth dimension, which he calls a flux field. This field is a higher dimensional energy that influences the energy circuit of the other 6 points. It is believed that this is the secret key to free energy, something to which Nikola Tesla mastered and dedicated his life to. So I was just like, that's kind of deep. So if you guys don't know, I'm going to give you a high-level overview of the 369 method. 369 method is in manifestation. So you're supposed to say it 3 times in the morning, 6 times in the afternoon or evening, and then 9 times at night, and then you'll see your manifestation come in. Hey, Tanaya. Hey, Maria. Hey, Monique. Hey, Blessed. C84. So the science of habit. It takes 21 days to form a habit. Once you form a habit, you should be able to do something naturally. Now, once you break that habit, then you won't do it as easily. So generally, if you can go 21 days without smoking, then you're probably good to stop smoking. But if you can't go 21 days, then you're going to struggle. If you can go 21 days with exercising, it's easier for you to keep exercising, right? So it says the science of building habits is an important aspect of human behavior. It has been studied by psychologists, sociologists, and economists, as well as other behavioral scientists. Habits are a part of our everyday lives and have a powerful influence on our behavior and our lives. A habit is a behavior that is repeated so often that it becomes automatic and is difficult to change. Habits can be both helpful or harmful and can be either conscious or subconscious. Habits are formed through the process of classical conditioning, which is when a behavior is associated with a particular stimulus. This is usually done through repetition and reinforcement. The prefrontal cortex is responsible for the conscious effort to create new habits or change existing ones. Building new habits require both the repetition of the behavior and the conscious effort to initiate the behavior. So I think this is the what is it? They call it the prefrontal cortex. I might be wrong. I don't really know, and I don't plan on researching it. Well, I'm lying. I probably will. Thank you for the love, Luna. Let me see. Nay Luna Blunt 5. Did I say it right? Thank you for watching. Hey Dom Cool. I would be considered a prophetess, but do I consider myself one? No. I'm reading the 369 journal, so that's what I'm doing right now. So the 369 method is so powerful because it helps you decondition harmful subconscious habits and replace them with new positive ones through repetitive scripting and consistent goal-oriented actions. By using this journal daily, you will cognitively restructure your beliefs about your own potential. In turn, this will affect how you perform throughout the day positively. So remember I said if you smoke, if you can stop smoking for 21 days, then you're going to be more successful to not want to smoke. And if you're trying to work out, if you can work out for 21 days consistently, then it's going to be easier for you to continue to work out. And that's pretty much what it just said. If you want to get rid of something negative or bring in something positive, once you create that habit of it, it's easier to do. So now we're going to talk about pathways. Neural pathways connect relatively distant areas of the brain or nervous system. Each pathway is associated with a particular action or behavior. Every time we think, do, or feel something, we strengthen this pathway. Habits are well-traveled pathways. Our brain finds these things to do easily. So you ever heard how people say, hey, Rollins, how people will say, you'll do stuff and subconsciously you're doing it, but you don't even know you're doing it. And a lot of people use your job, like when you go to work and you're used to doing something over and over and over again, you start doing it repetitiously without even thinking about what you're doing, because you just know what you're doing. Like sometimes you're driving and then you kind of be like, well, how did I get this far? Because you're just used to driving that same route all the time, that you just do it subconsciously. And your subconscious mind is really what houses a lot of your manifestations. So if you can bring that subconscious mind forward, then you'll start to see your manifestations in the natural realm. Neuroplasticity. New thoughts and skills carve out new pathways. Repetition and practice strengthen these pathways, forming new habits. Old pathways get used less and weaken. So strengthening of neural connections. Neurons wired together make more lasting circuits. Mental activity. This can be a thought, feeling, or an action, which is why I say if you feel negative emotion, try to get rid of the negative emotion. Because just think about it. If you mad, and I'm going to use this as an example. You ever get in a fight, and after the fight, you be thinking about everything you should have did while you was fighting, and you mad that you didn't do it. So the more that you think about the stuff that you didn't do, the madder that you get, and then all of a sudden you want to go fight again, because then you want to do all the stuff that you didn't do the first time you fought. So you fight again, and then you start going through that same process again. So you never let go of the fact that, hey, you wanted to fight, you done did the fight, and now it's over with. Just let it go. That's that negative emotion, and you just keep letting it go, and before you know it, it just take over you. You just taken over by negative emotion, instead of just saying, okay, I fought, I got my lick, I'm good. You know how people be saying, I want to get my lick back. And I hate when people say, I want to get my lick back, and then they get their ass kicked again, and then they want to get their lick back again, but they get their ass kicked again. Then they want to, it's like, look, how many times I got to beat your ass before you realize you ain't never going to get your lick back. And then eventually it just has to sink in, and they have to say, okay, yeah, I got to let it go. So I always try to replace negative thoughts with a positive thought. And it's kind of hard to do, but it's really easy, because when you think of the law of polarity, it's which end of the stick are you focusing on. So you have the positive side and you have the negative side. So if you want to constantly focus on the negative side, then what you're going to manifest is those negative aspects that you're focusing on. But if you want to focus on the positive side of the stick, what you'll start to see manifest will be the positive side, or the positive aspects that you're thinking on. So repetition of mental activity, consistent repetition of thought, feeling, and or action. Creation of new neural structures. Neurons fire together, forming a brief connection by communication through gaps called synapses. With attention and repetition, you can change your brain and nervous system by thinking and feeling how you want to be. So if you want to feel miserable, thank you, Elijah. Yep, stay strong for yourself, honey. If you want to be miserable, keep thinking those miserable thoughts. And what they say, misery loves company. So miserable people are always going to try to pull you into their misery. And I'm the first person to say, no, the fuck you not. You're going to sit your ass over there, and you're going to be miserable by yourself. And I'm going to sit my ass over here, and I'm going to be happy by myself. So I try to stay away from negative energy. If I feel like your energy is negative, I'm not trying to fuck with it at all. Like, do you, boo? And I'm going to stay over here. I like to stay as positive as possible. Now, does that mean that I don't have negative thoughts? Absolutely not. I do have negative thoughts. And sometimes I'm like, what? I'm gonna use myself as an example. Like as I was driving up to the garage this morning, because again, it's almost 5 in the morning here in Houston. So I was driving up the garage, probably like 3 something or whatever. And I had this thought, and I was like, why do I keep having these thoughts? And I actually got a little mad. So to me, that's a negative emotion. But then my thought after that was, but hold on, you used to have a point in your life where you didn't really have emotions. I consider myself to be an emotionless person, which was thank you, IT. Hold on, your ass ain't behind me. I was talking about IT. I'm realizing this ain't it. But I realized, wait a minute, this is actually something positive, because it used to be a time that I didn't have all of these emotions. Like I was, what's the word they use? I was very nonchalant. I was a very nonchalant individual. It was just like, fuck it, it is what it is. And I didn't give two fucks. You either got the extreme, like, because I will go from 0 to 100 real quick. So you either got that extreme anger side of me, or you got the side where I wasn't really talking. I just didn't give a fuck. But now it's like I have these emotions and I want to talk about it. I want to talk about if I'm feeling sad, and I can acknowledge that I'm feeling sad, but I don't sit in the sadness. So as I was coming up and I'm having these emotions, and I realized, wait a minute, that's growth for me, that I'm having these emotions that I'm feeling now. So that was something that actually made me smile and feel happy. So it just depends on which side of the stick you choose to focus on when it comes to the law of polarity. So the power of writing. For you guys that have been following me for a while, whether you're over here on YouTube or on TikTok, in the earlier days, I used to say script the life that you want. And I was teaching people how to journal and write down the things that you desire. Like, you have to do more than just think it. Like, you have to think it, but you also have to believe it. You have to say it, and then you have to wait for it to come in. So what I'm going to read now is about the power of writing. And again, we're reading the 369 journal. So writing something down repeatedly is a proven technique to help our brains grow and manifest things in our lives. It is a form of cognitive training that helps us to focus our attention and create better neural pathways in our brains. When we write something down repeatedly, we are engaging in a form of repetitive learning, which helps us to better remember and understand the information. So when you decide what you want to manifest, then you write that down. Like, at one point in my life, I kept saying, I want a flat stomach. I want a flat stomach. I want a flat stomach. So I started writing that down. And then I had to go a step further, and I had to start realizing you're going to get a flatter stomach. And just start thanking the universe and God for my flatter stomach. So now my food pot is flatter than what it used to be. It used to be bigger than this. But I had to sit down and start writing that and start receiving it and believing it. So I was putting that into my memory, and then I started acting on it. I started doing the things that I needed to do to get a flatter stomach. So writing something down also helps us to create a plan and take steps to achieve the goal. By focusing our attention on the goal, we create a vision for ourselves that can be seen and understood, making it easier to stay motivated and on track. See, because even the Bible says write the vision and make it plain. It didn't say write the vision and make it not make sense. Like, it need to make sense. So for example, if you want to say, I want to save $1,000 this month, you can write down, I want to save $1,000 this month. I want to save $1,000 this month. I want to save $1,000 this month. And you can start doing those affirmations that I want to save $1,000 this month. But then your mind is automatically going to start bringing you different things to help you understand what you need to do in order to save $1,000 for that particular month. So then you'll start putting plans into action. Like, you might have to pull back from eating out all the time. You might have to pull back. You might go to, say, Starbucks every day and get you an $8 drink. And you have to realize, hey, I don't really need this every day. Maybe I'll treat myself once a week instead of going 7 days out the week. So you'll just start making these small little changes, not realizing that the changes that you're making are actually going to help you save the $1,000. And then how are you going to save the $1,000? Are you going to save the $1,000 and put it in your savings account? Or are you going to save the $1,000 and keep it in a jar in the house? Like, how do you plan on saving it? So that's another thing. So as you start writing these things down and regurgitating them to yourself using the 369 method, your subconscious mind is going to start giving you ways to bring that manifestation to come to pass. Hey Jerome, hey Meg, hey Haley, how y'all doing? So the power of writing something down repeatedly lies in its ability to form new neural pathways in our brains. When we write something down, it is a way of focusing our attention on the goal, allowing us to better remember and comprehend the information and to create a plan that will help us to achieve it. So that's really what I just explained to you all, but it's really your subconscious mind that is always in the forefront of understanding what you're trying to manifest and helping you understand what you need to do to bring those manifestations to pass. By repeatedly writing our goal down, we are reinforcing the neural pathways associated with the cognitive training. Also helps us. Hold on, I done skipped a whole sentence over here. Hold on, let me reread that. By repeatedly writing our goal down, we are reinforcing the neural pathways associated with the goal, making it easier for us to achieve it. This type of cognitive training also helps us to manifest our desired outcome. When we focus our attention on the goal, it becomes easier for us to visualize it and take the necessary steps to make it happen. So right here, I'm gonna just let you guys understand. Um, hey Robert, how you doing? You be sure you watch your kids too. So when you are manifesting, the first thing you need to do is decide it. Like, you can't manifest something if you don't know what you're trying to manifest. You first need to decide what it is that you want. Once you know what you want, you have to believe that you can receive it, that you can have it, that you're worthy of it. So the first step is to decide. The second step is to believe. Once you decide it and believe it, you have to start seeing it for yourself. And when I say see it, a lot of times I tell people that's like your pineal gland. You have to see it in your mind. You have to be able to say, I know I can have this. So say, for instance, your manifestation is that you want to save $1,000. I'm going to keep using that as an example. You want to save $1,000 this month. So you first have to decide, I'm going to save $1,000 this month. And you have to decide, what's your reason? Like, if you just want to save $1,000 for an emergency fund, or you might want to save $1,000 because it's something you want to purchase. Just decide, this is what I want to do, and I know I can do it. I believe I can do it. And then you start to see yourself actually doing it. As you're seeing yourself doing it, that's when you're going to start to see those different things that you need to do to make that actually happen. The fourth step in manifesting is saying it. And a lot of people say shit before they believe it, before they decide it, and before they see it. And those are people that I say, stop talking out the side of your neck, because you don't believe it, because they'll change their mind all the time. It's like, well, make up your mind. What do you want? Once you make up your mind what you want and you stick to that and you believe that and you see that for yourself, that's when you can start saying it and telling other people, and no devil in hell can tell you any different. Because it's like, okay, you can go ahead and call me crazy, but when it come in, don't call me crazy. Just look at me and say, yeah, you did say that. So those are the four steps. First, you have to decide it. Then you have to believe it. Then you have to see it. Then you have to say it. And then it'll come in. I promise you, it will come in. I've done it so many times. I promise you, it'll come in. Okay, so everything in life is vibration. That's where we're at now. Everybody tracking with me? Hey, oh, Jody Vintage. Oh, Jenny Vintage. What's up, Koya? Nora, what's up? What's up, Patricia? What's up, One of a Kind? Thank you for the follow, One of a Kind. And we're currently at 425 likes over here on TikTok. If we can get this up to 1,000, that's greatly appreciated. Over here on YouTube, we have Robert that's about to get blocked. Hold on. Yep, boom. Because I block people. I block people on social media and I block people in real life. Because what you will not do is irritate my soul. I'll block your ass first. So everything in life is vibration. Vibration is an essential concept in life because it is the fundamental building block of the universe. Every single thing in the universe is made up of energy, which is constantly vibrating. We can see this in the way that we experience the world and all of the things in it, from the air we breathe and the ground we walk on to the stars in the sky and the food we eat. Everything vibrates at its own frequency. A lot of people don't understand vibration, but everything vibrates. Even your phone might be in your hand, but it's vibrating. You can see a table that's sitting there, it's vibrating because matter, everything moves. And it's a whole scientific thing. It's hard for me to explain, so I'm not even going to try to explain. But everything has a vibration to it. The concept of vibration is not new and has been studied for centuries by various cultures and civilizations. Ancient Greeks believed that the world was made up of four elements: earth, air, fire, and water. They believed that these elements were in constant vibration and that they interacted with each other and influenced the world around them. Hey EJ, how you doing? Hey Janaya. In the East, Chinese Taoists and Indian yogis believed that everything in the universe was connected by a subtle energy called prana, or Q, which is QI, and that this energy was in constant vibration. Today, scientists understand that vibration is a fundamental part of the universe. Everything in the universe is made up of atoms, which are constantly vibrating and emitting energy. This energy, called the electromagnetic spectrum, is responsible for the way we experience the world around us. So now it's going to talk about how to use the book. Okay, so we're going to go into how to use this book. And again, the 369 journal, it is available on the TikTok shop. This is where I purchased mine from the TikTok shop. And if you are on TikTok, you can look at my showcase to purchase items from out of the showcase, and you'll see this in the... Well, no, you won't see this in my showcase. So you might have to search TikTok for it. But for me to put it in my showcase, it's still under the review. It hasn't been approved for me to put it in my showcase yet. So how to use this book. How do I do the 369 method? So if you didn't go get a pen and a piece of paper yet, go ahead and get it now so you can write it down. Write your desire down 3 times in the morning, 6 times in the afternoon, and 9 times in the evening. Then take inspired action during the day. So I explained that at the beginning before I started reading this. The 369 method is taking your affirmation, your rocket of desire, which is whatever you want to manifest, and you're writing that down 3 times in the morning, and you're writing it down and saying it 3 times in the morning, 6 times in the afternoon, evening, 9 times at night. And basically at night, it's best to do it right before you're going to sleep, because when you go to sleep, that's when the subconscious mind takes over and starts doing what it needs to do. And that way, when you wake up in the morning and you're saying those affirmations or rockets of desire again, you'll have some action steps that the subconscious mind has delivered to you. A lot of times I'll wake up from out of my sleep and it's like, why didn't I think of that? And then it gives me something to start moving toward. So I'm going to use I can only use myself for an example, because who else am I going to use, right? So for example, currently my car is in the shop. I was driving one day and I didn't know what was going on. So long short, it needs a radiator. So I was like, oh, what am I going to do? So I kept doing these Uber, rides and Lyft rides. And then I realized I can do a rental car through Lyft or Uber, and I can drive people around to pay for the rental car instead of me paying for it. And I was like, okay, and that'll help me learn my way around Houston at the same time. So I'm earning money, paying for a rental car, but learning my way around. But I never would have thought of that, because I was just like, okay, so I'm going to just be paying out all these rides. But it gave me something to use So it's kind of like a plus win-win type situation. So 369 method, 3 times in the morning, 6 in the afternoon or evening, and 9 times at night, preferably right before you go to bed. And the 3 times in the morning, preferably should be right when you wake up. Because when you do things right when you wake up, you don't have any resistance that has come. So you might want to, like, what do you mean resistance? So say for instance, you wake up and the first thing you do is say your affirmations. You have nothing that has come into your existence that can throw it off. Opposed to you wake up, you brush your teeth, you wash your face, you get dressed for the day, you go to work, you go in a meeting, you're irritated in the meeting, or something crazy happens, and then you're like, oh, well, let me go do my affirmations. Well, now you have all that resistance from that irritation that has occurred that's there when you're trying to get your affirmations off and keep it in a positive mindset. Opposed to when you wake up in the morning and you say your affirmation, you're just like, yeah, it's gonna be a good day. And then even if the irritation in the meeting happens, you still have those affirmations that you've already said to circle back to put you back into the positive side of the sticks when you're looking at the law of polarity. Hey, Fajardo, how you doing? I ain't seen you in a long time. So, do I start with the affirmations or actions? Please start by writing down your desired affirmations first. This will help prime your subconscious and build emotions associated with your desires. Do I have to write the same thing down for the entire book? No, you do not. When you are manifesting, you are the one that's determining what you want to manifest, how you want to manifest it, and when you want to manifest it. And you can change it at any time. You can say, for example, and I'm gonna use myself. At one point in my life, I wanted to get remarried. I was like, I'm gonna get remarried, and this time I'm gonna have a big wedding, and I'm gonna have my dad walk me down the aisle. My first wedding, we went to the courthouse, so my dad didn't walk me down the aisle. I didn't do the wedding dress. We didn't do none of that stuff. However, when my dad passed, I was like, yeah, it don't make sense to get married no more because my dad's not here. So I just don't want to get married no more. But then as I kept talking to people, and they kept making me feel like they was like, well, and I was like, well, it don't make sense. But now as I've been going through the healing journey from losing my dad, which was like 2 years ago, now this thing has rebirthed in me where I'm kind of like, no, I think I do want to get remarried. So you can switch up your desire at any moment. Like you can change it. You don't have to say, well, I asked for this. Well, that's what you can send it back. I remember one guy I was dating and I was like, yes. And then I gave that man the best 28 days of my life because we dated off and on for 3 years. And then eventually we cohabitated together in Houston. And during that cohabitation, I realized, I said, God, I promise I'm not being ungrateful. But I don't want this one. Send this one back. I want a better version. But it took all of those affirmations and all of that manifestation to come to the point of us cohabitating together for 28 days for me to realize I don't want this one. So I sent that one back and that one's gone. Hey, Cheryl, hey, so you can definitely manifest what you want. And if it comes in and you realize, yeah, I need to clean this up because I left a few things out, because that happens sometimes. We'll start to think that we want something, and then when it comes in, we realize, oh, well, wait a minute, I didn't necessarily ask for that when I asked for this, so let me go and clean it up. And then you can do that. That's possible. So you don't have to stick to the same thing. You don't have to be like, okay, well, I can only use this book for this one manifestation. You can use it for multiple manifestations. It's going to be the same method. If you have one thing that you manifest and it comes in and you want to tweak it a little bit, then you go ahead and tweak it. Like, I might end up with a man and be like, this is what I asked for, but I don't like this. So I can start asking for those different things. And it might be me that needs to change a little bit. It may not necessarily be the man. It might be me. So you can't always look at it's someone else or something else that's the issue. Sometimes it's you that needs to be changed or to be worked on. And as you realize that, that's when you change that 369 method to say, hey, I want to be a better person. I used to be a person, I didn't smile a lot. Y'all probably don't know that over on TikTok because I'm always over here smiling and laughing and kiki and ha ha and all that. But I really did not smile a lot, and I used to look so mean and people were intimidated by me. But I was really a nice person. I just didn't want people fucking with me. Like, don't come over here bothering me if I didn't ask you to. But I realized that was something in me that I needed to change in order for me to manifest some of the things I was trying to bring in. Hey, Dejan. Hey, Barrett. Hey, Mello. Hey, Millie. So please understand you can use this for multiple things. So it says, no, you do not. You can change the way you phrase your desire, and you can change your desire entirely. Throughout your journey, new ideas will come and you may gain more clarity about what you want in life. Because of this, your affirmation can change. And that's pretty much what I just said. It used to be a time in my life that I wanted to buy a house. And then actually, once I was in a house that my ex had purchased, I was like, I want this house. And he went and bought that house and we went and lived in that house. And from living in that house for 3 years, I realized I don't want a house. A house is too much fucking work. Every weekend, yard work, like I don't want to go out in the yard. I don't like. I like gardening. I like doing my gardening, but I don't necessarily like going to pick the weeds in the garden. Okay, I don't necessarily. I like laying the seeds down and seeing them sprout and all that, but I don't want to be the one that got to go out there and pull the weeds up. And then when stuff go down in the house, it was just owning the house is a whole lot of work. And I was like, yeah, I don't want to own a house. So I said, you know what? I'm going to buy some land. So when we broke up, I started buying land. So now I have 20.28 acres of land. And I'm like, that's a lot easier because it's less upkeep. I don't have to do a whole lot with it. And my whole thing that I wanted a house. So when I pass into the next life, I would leave the house to my kids. Well, half the time my kids not even getting along. How the fuck I'm gonna leave them a house? They're not gonna live in that house together. They're gonna fight over the house. So that was another reason why I said, nope, I don't want a house. Let me just have a whole bunch of land. And I can be like, okay, here go your 5 acres, here go your 5 acres, here go your 5 acres. Like I decided to do it differently. So I went in and changed my affirmations. I used to always want to live in a high-rise apartment with a wonderful view of the city. I'm finally sitting in that manifestation. But it took some years for it to come in because I couldn't really see it for myself. I couldn't understand it. I couldn't touch it. I couldn't believe it because I had never really been in a high rise. I just knew I wanted to live in one. So what I ended up doing, I was living, I think I was living in Florida. And I went back to visit in Georgia. I said, this time I'm going to do an Airbnb, but I'm going to be sure it's in a high rise. And I absolutely loved being in the high rise. And I was able to get the feeling of being in a high rise. And I enjoyed looking out at the view because it gave me a nice calmness. And it took a couple more years, but eventually I made it to live in a high rise with this really awesome view, which is where I am at now. And I like that. And I'm like, I don't think I want to live anywhere outside of a high rise. And at one point, before I renewed my lease where I'm at, I was like, well, maybe I should get a bigger house because it seemed like a lot of family was coming in. And I was like, I'm in a 1-bedroom, so I really don't have room to house people. I need a house so when people come in. So I went and I found this house, and this house was nice. And the backyard was nice. I loved it. But then when I came back home to where I'm at and I went out on my patio, I said, yeah, the house was nice, but it doesn't beat the view. So you can change your manifestation, your desire at any moment. You can tweak it as much as you need to because, again, it's your manifestation. You determine, you script the life that you want, which is basically writing it down, seeing it for yourself, believing it. And it's really when you start to get that feeling of it, that's when you know it's close to coming in because you can feel it. Can I manifest multiple things at once? And I already told y'all, yes, but this is a question in the book. Yes, you can. If you would like to manifest 2 things, use 2 separate pages so you can keep your intentions organized. So that's another thing. For each page, it should be 1 manifestation. You don't want to jumble it all up. Each page should be 1 manifestation. Each page, 1 manifestation. So you're saying it 3 times in the morning, preferably right when you wake up, 6 times in the afternoon or evening, and then 9 times at night, preferably right before you go to sleep. Hey, LaPay. Hey, Dima. Hey, what is that? Hunt with Sabrina May. George Jackson. Y'all remember that George Jackson? Daughter Judy, Jane, his wife. I just love the Jetsons. Okay. Do I have to write my desire down at certain times of the day? No, you do not. Okay. Now I'm giving the suggestion 3 times in the morning, right when you wake up. That way you don't have any resistance. 6 times, notice I said in the afternoon, evening, because it's up to you. And then 9 times at night, preferably before you go to sleep. But you don't have to follow that. That's just what I follow. So no, you do not. It is recommended to use the morning, afternoon, and evening. However, it is acceptable and still effective if you choose to write down all of the affirmations at once in the morning. So you think 3, 6, 9, that's 9, that's 10, that's 15, that's 18 times. Y'all notice that? You got 3, 6, 9. So when I take 9 and take the 6, that's 15. When I add in the 3, that's 18. 8 plus 1 is 9. I'm big on numerology. So again, 3, 6, 9 is still coming back to 9. Everything is still coming back to 9. And 9 is symbolic of new beginnings. It is finished. It's new beginnings. Because when you think of numbers, and this visualize this with me, guys. When you think of counting, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. What comes after 9? 10, right? 10 is really 1 all over again, but on a new level. So this level is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then you start again. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. What's after 19? 20. But 20 is just the duplication of 1. So now you on another level. So 9 is really everything is complete and you're about to level up to a new level. So that's how I look at the 369 method. It's like, okay, I'm about to go into a new level. Once I finish this, it's a new level. And new levels, as they say, bring new devils, but it really doesn't. New levels bring new manifestations. Because once you accomplish a manifestation, just like as soon as you accomplish a goal, you should start to have and create other goals. What can I pair with this book to help me achieve my goals? Listen to sound healing frequencies, which if you guys can't hear it, I listen to a lot of frequency music, which is what I'm playing right now. I'm going to turn it up so y'all can hear it. Okay, so as I'm reading, I listen to a lot of frequency music. When I'm meditating, I turn on frequency music. When I'm irritated, I turn on frequency music. When I need to relax, I turn on frequency music. When I need to calm down, I turn on frequency music. And you can find a lot of good frequency music on YouTube. If you want to understand what the different frequencies mean, you can do research on that. I mostly listen to either 777 or 888 frequency. And sometimes I'll listen to, I think it's 467 or something like that. There's like a negative energy cleansing frequency music. I'll listen to that if it's just like I just need to cleanse and reset. That's the type of frequency music. So listen to sound healing frequencies, repeat positive affirmations, meditate, exercise, and incorporate movement throughout your day. Listening to an inspiring song while you are writing your desires will amplify your practice even more. And you'll find different songs, and this is just a key for some people. There'll be different songs that for some reason that song resonates with you, and that ends up being your song, which I call breakthrough songs. Like when my car started cutting up and that radiator was giving me issues, Lil Wayne's song started playing all the time. Let it all work out, and I was like, you know what? Now I'm gonna just let it all work out, and it's working out. It's taking longer because I keep stopping doing what I need to do, but it's working. Then it says, what if I miss a day? It is okay if you miss a day. You can always pick it back up again. Part 1 is the introduction. So we are going to close out right here because this is the 369 method. And it says, write your desire 3 times in the morning, Write your desire 6 times in the afternoon. Write your desire 9 times in the evening. And it gives an example. So this is the example I'm going to read. I am so happy and my heart is so full now that I have $10,000 extra in my checking account. That's a good affirmation. I think I'm going to start with that one. I am so happy and my heart is so full now that I have $10,000 extra in my checking account. And my checking account used to be like that. And I promise you, I was so happy and my heart was so full that I had that extra $10,000 in my checking account. It's going to come again. I am so happy and my heart is so full now that I have $10,000 extra in my checking account. I am so happy and my heart is so full now that I have $10,000 extra in my checking account. So now it gives these examples in case you guys want to know. So when you're writing it down, this is your 3 times in the morning, your 6 times in the evening and afternoon, your 9 times at night. So, and you can just, if you don't have the book to start off with, you can just get you a regular notebook to start this. And as I keep going through this book, I'll come on here and we'll do a live to talk about it together. So when we come back together, we'll talk about tips to amplify your 369 practice. I want to thank everyone over on YouTube for joining. I appreciate y'all. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for the likes. It's greatly appreciated. I only had to block one person, which was Robert Sterling's bitch ass. He got blocked over on YouTube. Over on TikTok, thank you. It was a lot of y'all. Thank y'all for the 467 likes. I was hoping we could get to 1,000 before I ended the live. Hey, your friend, but we didn't. But that's fine because I believe that numbers are symbolic. Over here on YouTube, currently I have 3 likes and I have 3 people that are showing, but I don't know the cumulative amount of people until I actually end it. So I appreciate y'all. Over here I've been on for about 45 minutes. I know I've been over here on TikTok a lot longer than that. So YouTube, thank y'all so much. Y'all have an awesome day and I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.